All right, Brett and Ray Show, episode number 4. This is coming up on week 3. This is start of the league play. There were some teams that have played some league games already, but this is pretty much the official start of when everybody's going to be playing league games. We got a little personal note that I want to touch on. So Ray, over the weekend, and I think it happened a little before this, but your daughter got engaged. She had her birthday. We want to congratulate Ray.
Thank you.
That's something I feel that should be talked about, when something like that happens in your life. So you should be pretty proud of that. I know you're pretty proud with her, and you're pretty proud with the guy too. So congrats to them. Hopefully they see this. All right, on to some football. So we're going to start with our recap. First, we're going to start with New Oxford and Southwest. Ray had that game 28-14. That game ended up 14-7. I think that was a little closer game than what everybody was anticipating. And I mean, great on Southwest then. They came out. They came ready to play. They came out with their hair on fire, it seemed like. And New Oxford seemed to struggle a little bit, more so than I think you and I probably thought they were going to struggle. As far as the defensive side, I want to talk about Ian Wysocki from Southwest. He had 4 solo tackles, 12 assist tackles, and 16 total tackles in that game. We will mention him later in this podcast as well. You're going to talk a little bit about the game, and you were there. You saw that. I was going to watch it and couldn't bring it up, and I watched a different game. But you're going to talk a little bit about the game and some of the offensive stats that happened.
Excellent game. I went down to Southwest. I was going to go up to State College. There was some construction issues with that. So I decided, which game am I going to? Redland and Gettysburg, or New Oxford at Southwest, and back and forth. And so I decided I'm going down to Southwestern. It's a rivalry game. You don't know what's going to happen. I didn't know what to expect, but beautiful night. Went there. Just a tremendous, really, really a good high school football game. Both teams played hard. I mean, they both played to win. They both come out in the field with a lot of energy, and you could see that Southwest was ready to go.
I know the people that I talked to, they were pretty impressed with the game. They thought it was a really good game.
And it's crazy because they come out. Both teams come out. It's you're looking at things and the numbers. The numbers were, as far as players go, pretty even, maybe a little leaning towards the Southwest side as far as the total players. But there's only 11 on the field. So the game starts out, Southwest kicks off, beautiful night, or New Oxford kicks off to Southwest. They take it back almost a distance, clear back into the red zone. Flag comes back. New Oxford, they drive a little bit, stop them. New Oxford makes a stop and kicks the ball to Southwest kicks the ball to New Oxford, and Holmes takes it back in around the 10-yard line, goes to his left. They set up the wall beautifully, and down the sidelines, touchdown. It gets called back. So right away, you got 2 big penalties on early in the game, but the game played out beautifully. New Oxford on the first play of the game. Matter of fact, Alex Brown, who's a kid I've mentioned, he goes off tackle, little cutback, and he's one step, and he'd have went the distance. I mean, he's one step away from taking it to the house, and he goes down and didn't see him the rest of the game. So apparently there was an injury. I don't know what happened, but now, like we talk about, you lose a running back, you lose a defensive player. You don't lose one guy, you lose 2.
And to me, I've always said football is a game of attrition. It's the next guy up. That mentality is it has to be there, because things like this happen. It happened with Harrisburg. And it's how does that kid that steps up, how does he respond? So that was a big loss for them, it seemed like.
But that game played out. I tell you what, I was impressed with the fact New Oxford had a little bit of running game going early on, but Southwest shut that down. They did not move the line of scrimmage. The backs, had a Hart Lampke and the Blake kid. Blake had a few runs early. Brown was out naturally, so Southwest did a really good job on the line of scrimmage. Matter of fact, I would have to say, watching that game, the line play was, and I give Tony a lot of credit. He had his guys ready to play. I mean, they really were ready to play. New Oxford come out in a lot of spread sets. They ran quads to the wide side of the field, double stack, and then tried to ISO Holmes on the lower side of the field, on the short side of the field, into the boundary to try to get some one-on-one stuff. And impressed with their sets, but the running game wasn't there. Luke Fry does a good job. He's a smart kid, you can tell. He's a smart kid. He manages the games. He makes good decisions. And in that game, he missed a couple big ones, and I know there's one that he would love to have back. He had Jacoby in the middle of the field, and I mean, he would have, if he catches this ball, he's running back to New Oxford. I mean, he was gone. So he missed him there. I know if you had to ask him take one back, that would have been the one. But he threw a ball deep outside in coverage to Holmes down the left side, outside the numbers, and they got down there early on. They scored with Blake on a run. It was 7-0. He hits a long one down the sidelines outside the numbers, and Holmes makes a really good over-the-shoulder catch. I mean, the ball was thrown perfectly. I mean, Fry dropped it right in the bucket, and Holmes did a good job, over-the-shoulder catch, put him in the red zone in really good field position. The thing that I don't understand is they brought the field goal kicker out. The drive stalled. They brought the field goal kicker out. I don't know if the holder dropped the snap, if it was on the ground, if he couldn't get a hold of it, but he got up almost like a fake field goal. I don't know their kicker, so I don't know why they would have done that. If it was a fake all the way, I probably wouldn't have done that, but I don't know. It could have been it may not have been a fake. It may have been a bobbled snap, and all of a sudden they get a tackle on the outside. He couldn't get out of it. He's coming off the ground, and they made the tackle, big play, and then Southwest ties that game. I believe it was 7-0 at half. I believe they tied it in the third. And Carball ran one in there, running a little wildcat with him, and New Oxford's going to the total spread, and Carball and Frazier were very impressive. This Anthony Frazier kid's a tough little kid. I mean, he runs inside hard. I mean, he was bouncing off of people and getting extra yardage. But the key to the game was this. We talk about balance. We talk about being able to run it, which Southwest did a better job running the ball than New Oxford. But New Oxford had the better passing game. There's no question about it. Not that they blazed them and not that they tore them up with it, but they were effective. Luke Fry's a smart kid, makes good decisions, doesn't turn it over. That's what you want in a quarterback, and he did that. So he does a good job with that, manages the game, got under a little pressure, didn't hurry it, didn't throw it away, didn't throw it into coverage where there's a pick. He took care of the ball and managed the game the way it should have been managed, and it was a good effort on his part.
Well, when you can run the ball, it just helps set up everything.
It does.
I think running the ball sometimes gets a little underrated.
Well,
and especially in the postseason. You get later in the season, you get into that postseason, you got a decent running game. It only emphasizes everything else.
So. New Oxford went empty, and I thought maybe they went empty. They got the coverage outside. They got 6 in the box, and I thought maybe once in a while they'd try to pop Fry. I mean, you don't have a back there, so you're empty. So you got your receivers. They got their defenders. You got 5 guys in coverage and 6 guys in the box. I thought maybe they may try a few design runs for Fry, but they did not. And I thought they should have attacked a little bit more with Holmes too, because he's their best down the field guy. I mean, I liked his brother, good player. But Brody Holmes has got some height. He runs pretty well, and
he gets up and gets the ball.
And he can catch the ball. He can catch it in traffic. He can catch it in coverage. He knows how to shield a guy. He can go over the shoulder. And Fry made he made 2 really good throws. The one was over the top to the outside to Holmes, which put them in the red zone. I thought, they would score at least 3, but they got nothing out of that. So that hurt them. But then later on in the game, I believe it was the same series. He hit Holmes on a inside route. He ran down the field, took it inside, corners back on his backside, and Fry delivered the ball right where you need to, over the top, in the middle. You got a receiver here, you got a defender here. The ball's got to be out in front. No safety over the top. So he did a really good job putting it where he needed it. Holmes made a nice catch in coverage. The kid was on his back, and he made a nice catch, and then he eventually hit Clunk over the middle with a crossing route, probably in around the 10-yard line. The kid broke a couple tackles and broke a tackle, some contact, took it into the end zone. Did a nice job there. But I'll tell you what, the game all in all. But here's the kicker to me. If Carbaugh doesn't get hurt, I'm not saying New Oxford wouldn't have won, but I would have liked to seen how it played out. If Carbaugh doesn't go down, because he was effective. He didn't have a ton of yards. I'm looking at the yards. You know, you got Fry was 15 for 24, 231 and a touchdown. No picks. Took care of the ball. Did a good job. And he hit Brogan Clunk for the go-ahead touchdown there. And that was a big play for him. New Oxford ran for 68, 31 carries for 68. Southwest 35 carries for 145. But the passing numbers way out, far outweigh the total. The total wasn't bad though. 299 to 260, pretty even game. Line play was very tough up front. I thought it was a really, really well played game. And you know what was really nice after the game?
Everyone has been talking about
I stood
this.
around. I was, checking some things out. And then I looked down, I had some binoculars, and I looked down and I saw Brown had something on his foot. So he had an injury. But, the players came together. And I thought that was awesome.
And in a rivalry game where, and we talked about this last week, you get rivalry games and the kids, there's that dislike, but where they can separate it at the end of the game and all come together for one good reason.
I walked out of there and I said, this is great. This is really what you want to see out of two teams that supposedly don't like each other. Mm-hmm. And we talked about it last week. There's respect there.
Yeah.
And I saw it. But New Oxford's got a nice group. Some of the numbers, Anthony Frazier, 16 carries for 103. Carbaugh, 13 carries for 42, but he was effective. He had a touchdown. And the total yards was 299 to 260. Two things that would have got me as a coach, if I'm coaching this group. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Both penalties really hurt them. Mm-hmm. They had a drive. Frazier ran it down inside the 30, that 25. He was down the field a little bit, and they were on the move, and they got a 15-yarder, and it killed the drive. Absolutely no excuse for that. I mean, if I'm coaching a kid and he pulls a stunt like he's out. He's out. I don't know who did it, and if it was taunting, there's no room in the game. A turnover's one thing. Kids are trying to make plays. We saw it last night with the Ravens. One of the best running backs in the world drops a football, they lose the game. But when you have a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty in a close game, a tight game, that's unacceptable. You're letting your coaches down. You're letting your teammates down, and it can cost you the game. And it was a rough penalty. And then they had a couple turnovers, a pick and a fumble. So New Oxford played clean. They had a couple turnovers and a couple bad penalties, but the game was very tight. If Carbaugh stays alive in that game, there's a chance there that could have been an overtime game. But New Oxford won the game. They played well. Fry managed the game very well. He did a good job. He's a smart player, you can tell, and carries himself well on the field. I like that. I like kids that have some poise and conduct themselves the way you should on the field.
Next game we're going to talk about is Kennerdale at Spring Grove. Ray had that score 12-35. That score wound up 8-61. I don't think there's a whole lot to talk about. I mean, it's pretty one-sided.
Well, I thought, you think a team comes in at 2-0, and like I said, it's, in high school football today, it's not like it was 30 years ago. You see teams come in and you got beat 28-7, 30, 40 years ago, you got beat up. today. I mean, teams are scoring 50, 60, 70 points. I mean, it's crazy. But Spring Grove's pretty good, and I can't wait.
We're going to talk about this. We got that game coming up. That is on our upcoming games
to see what's coming. But you look at Spring Grove's numbers, and they ran for 422 yards running the ball, and then Baum threw for 6 for 7 for a touchdown and 164 yards, which with a running attack like they have is enough to keep people honest. And then Malik Kane, 9 carries, 174 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's a top running back in the district, so we'll talk about him a little bit later.
And then on the defensive side, you had Jordan Eisenhart run a fumble return back, and he has 3 INTs on the year.
Love that kid. I saw him play basketball. His dad's a basketball coach, was the basketball coach at Spring Grove. Nice guy. And Jordan, that's a great effort. 3 picks. He had a strip fumble, recovery, picked it up, took it to the house. So that's a good game for him. He's a heady kid. He's an aggressive kid. He's got some quickness to him, and he anticipates well. You can see it in basketball. So he's going to be pretty good in the defensive side of the ball. He knows where to be and when to be, and he's a good player. So I can understand why he's got 3 picks and a scoop fumble and a touchdown. So he's a good player. And Brendan Smith, 3 catches, 138, and a touchdown for Spring Grove. So they had a big effort. You run for 422, and you throw for 164, 6 for 7, and Kennerdale had no answers for anything. I mean, they come down and basically got run over. I have not seen Spring Grove yet. I'll see them.
We will see them.
Friday night I will be at Central to see what they do there, and I'm really, really anxious to see if they can. That's going to be a whole nother step for them.
Yeah. Yep. Next game we got Redland at Gettysburg. Ray had that score 24-14. That score wound up 48-34. I think I have that backwards. It should be 34-48. Gettysburg is the one that won that game.
Gettysburg lost.
No, then I have it right. Sorry.
Redland 48-34.
48-34.
And I thought Redland would beat them by 10. They beat them by 14. But it's mind-boggling that that's the kind of defense it's played. I mean, I know that Grant Johnson right now, he is the top passer in the district. He's throwing a lot. I mean, he's 14 for 27, 262, and a touchdown. And then the receiver, Cash Kessel, 5 catches for 95 yards, and he ran the opening kickoff back for a touchdown. So there's 2 pretty good players there. But on the defensive side of it, that's not.
I didn't, just looking at the stats, I didn't see a whole lot on the defensive side that really could talk about.
Redland runs for 322 and has 535 total yards of offense. That's
not a lot of defense happening.
I mean, that's an effort thing. I understand you can't match up in certain areas, but you got to do some things, some stunts, get in the gaps, get more people in the box, take away their strength. And in this case, this is a running team. So you got to cover with 3. And I don't even care if they put 2 guys wide. I'm going man-to-man, and I'm going to put 9 up near the box. I'm going to do what I have to do to slow them up and make them do something different.
Next game, we got William Penn at Manheim Township. Ray had that game 12-45. That game wound up 34-43. Township, correct. Neither of us saw that game. We did see Township play Central, and it seems like they cleaned some things up, according to what I was looking at with the stats, but they weren't playing Central.
Here's the thing about Township, and I've said they're well coached, and they are, but they lack one thing, and it's kind of mind-boggling to me, a school that size as Cumberland Valley. Cumberland Valley's a big school. And you look at them and you say, where's the athletes? I mean, you don't see anybody, you look at a kid run and you say, I mean, you got to have a couple guys that
with
can.
that many kids.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at it. In Manheim Township, in fairness, played Cumberland Valley the first game, and they kind of a mirror of each other. They're a
Mhm.
mirror image of each other. So what happens with that is you see the game play out. You're looking for skill. You're looking for guys that can separate. You're looking for guys that have moves. You're looking for guys that are a little different on the field, and you don't see that. Now, when you get up against a team like York High, you know they got 2 or 3 or 4 kids that can run.
Mhm.
And when you can outrun somebody, then things become easy. They gave up far more points than I imagined. I figured what was my score?
12 to
win
45.
45-12. Manheim, they won what? 43 to
34.
Yeah, I mean 34 points. I mean, York High is not any kind of
Yeah, I think they
offensive
still have some
juggernaut.
things to clean up on the defensive side. I think they cleaned up some things on the offensive side. I know you're going to talk about some of those stats, but I can't tell you William Penn, and you're going to talk about this penalties.
Well, I've never liked the way William Penn plays football, ever. I mean, I watch him play. Defensively, they're all over the place. Penalties all over the place.
And we were talking that these aren't big penalties, but
17 penalties for
105
105 yards. 17 penalties. Let me tell you what happens.
And to me, that says discipline.
They're all
you got guys jumping off sides. You got guys false starting.
And here's the bad part. What happens with that is this: you're trying to drive the ball, and a 5-yard penalty is not a 15-yard penalty, but it kills the drive.
Momentum.
And you can't ever get a rhythm going. 17 penalties is a lot of penalties in a game. 105 yards, that's a lot of that's a lot of yardage too. I mean, if you can get away with 40, 50 yards in penalties, you can maybe live with that. You don't want any penalties, but that's not a good sign. I don't like the discipline. I don't like the defense. But Manheim Township giving them 34 points. I don't know if they ran back a couple punts. I don't know if special teams broke down. But it's hard for me to believe. And I haven't seen William Penn play. So, I mean, maybe they have, they have offensive weapons. They have speed, and they probably have a good running back, and they generally have a big line. So that's all there. But they've had good teams in the last 7, 8, 9 years. But it seems to me defensively they lack. And I know in the last 3, 4, 5 years, I've been watching, especially from Bo on, and watching them. I went down to a few games when they played Central with Bo, and just teams gashing them. I mean, just running all over them, and undisciplined, not where you're supposed to be, no contain, and not backers not filling, and just undisciplined. Guys getting beat in the secondary, so they're kind of all over the place on the defensive side.
As far as stats on the defensive side for Manheim Township, we got Riley Rontoll. He had 7 solo tackles, 7 assists, and 14 total tackles.
The quarterback for Manheim, 23 for 31. Jack Kenneth, 23 for 31, 233, and 3 touchdowns. And then, and that's basically probably what did them in. They're breaking down in a secondary. And I can tell you right now, Manheim Township is not an athletic type team. I would think that York High, 3, 4 guys, you put them in a secondary, you match them up, and you do what you can with the run. So they threw for 233, so they probably ran. We didn't get their rushing numbers, but I would say they ran for probably all of $150. So you're heading towards 400 yards of total offense. You're going to score 43 points, but the 34 on the other side, I don't know what happened, but Manheim Township's got to clean some things up because they got to play some good teams.
Next game, we got Harrisburg at State College. Ray had that game 28-26. That game finished 48-45.
Double overtime. 34-32. State College scores with. Let me get my bearings on this one. I'm down at I'm down at Southwest watching New Oxford. I get a score 13-0 State College. My phone goes out. They don't have they said the reception's bad.
It's horrible there.
So the phone goes out. So I don't have it for a little while, and then I get back, and it's 34 to, an hour later. It's 34-20, fourth quarter. Game over, right? Then it's 34-27 with, 4 or 5 minutes left, 3 minutes left. Harrisburg gets a first down. I got it on my phone. Harrisburg gets a first down. Dent. They call it back. They call Brown for a hold, and Brown's going nuts. And so's Calvin. So they're going crazy. But penalty's a penalty. Push them back. They get the ball back, couple minutes left. They drive the field. They score with 25 seconds left. They go for 2. They go twins or trips. I couldn't tell on the phone. They bring the inside guy in motion, right? Left side, crossed up formation. He goes in motion. He flares out into the flat. They throw it. He catches the ball. Brett, he's in the flat. He catches the ball right here. Goal line's here. He's just inside the 1, but he's running down the line. Okay? Harrisburg kids come out. He goes to reach. They hit him. Ball comes free. They call touchdown. I watched it 15 times in replay. I slowed it down as much as I could slow it down. I couldn't tell. So, tie game. 34-all. So it should have ended, I thought it should have ended 34-32, but that's okay. We go double overtime. Harrisburg scores. State College scores. They both go for 2. They both make it. So now it's 42-all. State College gets the ball at the 10-yard line. Get a few yards, fourth down, they got to kick it. Kid drills it. 45-42. Harrisburg puts Lewis, their quarterback last year. Now he's a receiver this year, and Lewis had a good game. Lewis, 5 catches, 101, and a touchdown, and they put him in the Wildcat. The kid's, he's an athlete. So they put him in a Wildcat, takes a snap, direct run to the right. Takes it, makes a move, dives for the goal line, both hands on the ball, right? Hits the goal line. Ball comes free. State College thinks they have it. Referee comes in. Touchdown. Game over. 48-45. Great game. I text Calvin after the game coming home, and I said, the officials, they had 2 tough calls, but called one good for State College, one good for Harrisburg. And even if Lewis was, the ground caused the fumble, but I thought he was to the goal line, but I couldn't tell there either. But if he wasn't, I think his knee was down because he come down right on top of the goal line, just on the front of the goal line, and boom. Ball come loose, fumble. He's already over the plane. Once you cross the plane with the ball, game, they win at 48-45. So really good win against a really good team up there. Franklin was there from Penn State, so it was a big game. He had these 3 or 4 kids on both teams that are going to go to Penn State, so it was a great game.
We're going to get into some notables, stats from players. I know you want to talk about some of the things that's going on. I wanted to talk a little bit about, I was watching Dallastown and Manheim Central. That score wound up 28-16. Dallastown has 2 pretty good kids. Chris Camardi, 16 carries, 223 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then on the defensive side, they got Azarian Flowers. He came down with 2 INTs for that game. Both of those kids played pretty well.
Dallastown beat Manheim Central 28-16, and Cromartie 16 for 223, and then 2 touchdowns. Dallastown next plays South. Do they play Southwest next?
Yes.
They do?
Yes.
That's going to be a big game for Southwest. You know, they're coming off of one, they're going into one, and if Tony can keep the kids playing the way they're playing, that's going to be a tough game for them. We'll talk about them a little later.
Well, and I don't know what their quarterback's like. I know he got hurt twice, both legs. He came out of the game for a little bit. Now he did finish the game. I don't know how banged up. I don't know how serious they are, but obviously he finished the game. But
Who's that?
For Dallastown, their quarterback.
Well, they got Cromartie. It sounds to me like they like to run it.
That kid runs pretty well.
Yeah, he's a good back. He's the second leading rusher in the district behind Kane from Spring Grove. So we got a lot of good things going on in this direct area here with District 3, and Cromartie must be a nice player. But I'll tell you what, if, you know, they run that little read option down there at Southwest, you know, he holds it in there. I saw him doing it at the junior high game, and the kid faked the referee out. I was there. I've never seen anything like that.
Because they had to call.
They're playing the 8th grade game, and they run a read option off the right side. And the quarterback has it in, and all of a sudden, here comes the defense. He pulls it and runs around the left side, and the player's conversion tackle the guy without the ball. And the kid's running down the field.
Nobody near him
for a touchdown. And I saw the referee after the game. I'm walking out. He's walking out.
I heard you.
I said, what happened? And he said, I blew it. He said, I had no idea the kid had the ball. And you know, but what I'm getting to is if Southwest could go RPO and do the read pass option and try to get something thrown out of it, you know, stick it in there and then take it and try to hit somebody down the field, even if it's a 10 or 15 yard slant. They've got to develop a little more of a pass game. I like the way they played. I like their effort. I like these two little running backs, you know, Carball and Frazier. I like both of those kids. They run hard, and you can tell Tony's got them kids playing. They're playing with effort, and I think they got good things coming down the road because I saw their numbers, and I think Frazier and Carball, if I'm not mistaken, they might both be juniors. And I think their junior high school program is pretty good.
Carball, I believe, is. I'm not sure about Frazier. I feel like Frazier's a senior.
She's senior.
I feel like that is correct.
And I think the Seth, the quarterback, Seth Sullivan, I think he's a junior. So, and he came in and did some nice things. But I think things are looking up after that first game against Susquehanna Township. I thought, wow. You know, this did not look good. I'm watching 2 or 3 series, and they were getting run over and getting beat up pretty good and out of position and run. But what I saw Friday night was impressive in both teams. New Oxford and Southwest both look good.
You want to talk about a little bit of these leaders in the district?
Yes. Let's go over this. Okay, we got some of the top passers. The number 1 passer in the district is Grant Johnson from Gettysburg. So he's putting up good numbers. These guys are all around 8 plus, 850, 860, 880. Brooklyn Nace from Central, we know he's a good player. He's a dual threat guy, but he's put up big numbers. And then Torrin Evans from up at Susquehanna Township, really good with his feet, really good with his arm, good player, and they got a heck of a team. They're beating teams up. So looking back to week 1, Southwest took one on the chin, but so have the next 2 opponents that played Susquehanna Township got absolutely crushed. So they're a very good football team. And then you got the kid from West York, Ferber. Jensen Ferber's 4th total passer in the district. So you got 2 of the top. You got four of the top guys right here in this area. And I know they throw it. I know West York likes to throw the ball. And they got 3 or 4 good receivers. I don't know what their line play looks like, but I'm looking at New Oxford's schedule for the next 4 weeks, and they're going to have to really force their guys to, because I don't think there's anybody that can match up with them at all. You know, I just think Dover, Kennerdale, some of the teams they have coming, I just don't see it, and that's a tough situation for a coach because you got to get your guys ready to play. And I think the best way you do is you tell your guys, we're going to play as hard as we can. We're going to be playing like we're playing against the best team there is. And we're going to come out and we're going to give it to them. And if it's ugly at halftime, we'll decide what to do from there. But we're not going to come out and screw around and make mistakes and get sloppy, because you got West York and Warwick coming right after that. And they're both pretty solid. I think that's going to be their two games that are going to be they're going to be tested with. So that's really important to get your guys ready to go and play hard in these next 4 games, even though in your mind, but the coaches have to do a good job with this team can beat you. This team has got some players. We don't play well. We turn the ball over. We could get upset. You got to give your players a mindset, and then players have to know that it's important to stay sharp.
Yep.
You play hard. You play aggressive. You play like you're playing against the best team in the world, and go out there and show your stuff. And then whatever happens through the course of the game, then they can make a decision on whether they want to put some of the younger kids in and go from there.
That leads us into the upcoming games this week. First game on here, Spring Grove at Central. Give me a score, Ray.
Spring Grove at Central. Spring Grove's going to get on with the running attack, and they're going to go right after him on the ground. I mean, I don't see a lot of throwing. They're going to try to bully him. They have to. I mean, they've got to control the ball, control the game, control the clock, and go down there and just run the football and play your game and keep their guys off the field.
Yeah.
Because you know what Nace can do. He can come out and beat you in a heartbeat. But you know what? Spring Grove has showed ability to play defense. Now, this is a whole different game. This is not Kennerdale. This is Central York. They are the best team. They have been the best team in this area for quite a few years. So I'm looking at it. I think Spring Grove can play with them. I don't think they can beat them. I think it's going to be an outstanding game. I think Spring Grove can score. I think they can score 3. Run the ball, run the clock. I think it's going to be close. I don't think Central. And like I said, here's the problem with a game like this. You're playing teams as you go, and when teams can't match up with you, everything looks great. You're running the ball. You're throwing the ball. You're running for 300, 400, 500. You're doing whatever you want. You're doing whatever you want to do. But when you're playing against a team that matches up, and all of a sudden things are competitive, then you see who you are. I think they're good. I do. I think they're good. I hope they win. I really hope they win. I think they're going to play close, and I think they're going to lose 27-21. Central.
Next game, we got Southwest at Dallastown. I will say this, being part of that group, Dallastown always kind of seemed to have Southwest numbered. Now, I know the last couple of years they came out and just kind of played sloppy football, and hopefully that doesn't happen again. I think Tony has them on the right path, but they got to come out with this game, and they got to play like they did this past week, and hopefully Carball is healthy. I mean, that's going to be a huge factor. Hopefully he's able to play.
Yeah, I have no idea I saw him leave. I didn't see him even leave the game. I don't know at what point of the game he got hurt, but I just know he didn't come back and had to be an injury. So
when Southwest has got to step up, and they got to stop Cromartie, because that kid can run the ball.
Well,
and they seem to have handled New Oxford's running attack.
New Oxford,
but I don't know if New Oxford's run game is like Dallastown's run game. I think Dallastown has a little bit better running game than New Oxford.
New Oxford's got a nice looking line of scrimmage, but looks don't mean anything.
Yeah.
You can come out. I've seen Central Dauphin come out in the field in the last couple of years. It's mind-boggling. They come out, they look like the Green Bay Packers, and then they play, and it's like, they're not coming off the ball, they're not getting any push. it's just, you come off the ball. I mean, you move people. And, there's a lot of zone block and stuff going on today with some of the lines that don't have the big kids. But I look at it one way. New Oxford's got, they got the Bowman kid. They got the Covington kid. They got some big kids, and they got a good group. I mean, those kids look like, they looked the part, and, Bowman had a nice game. He looked good on really both sides of the ball. And I don't think Dallastown's going to be that much better, if they are, than New Oxford up front. So I think Southwest can somewhat stay with it, but I just don't like the fact that you're one-dimensional. I don't like the fact that you got to depend on the run, and you're trying to run it out of a wildcat, because that's easy to stop.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you get people in the box, you take your athletes and you
Yep.
guard their receivers. And here's the thing, it's not like they're playing a team that can throw it. So if you got a really good effective pass game, now you can have 7, 8 guys in the box. You got to cover people,
Yep.
a zone or whatever you want to do. So I think Southwest will get on there and play their tails off, and I think they'll play hard. I don't think they have enough offense, and I think Cromartie will have I don't think he'll run all over them. I wouldn't think, but he probably will have 100 plus. And Dallastown, I think Dallastown will win 26-14.
Next game, we got Northern York at Gettysburg.
Northern York at Gettysburg. You got an 0-3 team against a 1-2 team. They're at Gettysburg. Gettysburg's got a good quarterback, likes to throw it. They throw 25, 30 passes a game or more. He's effective. He's got yardage. I mean, he's got touchdowns, and he's got a good receiver in Kessel. So, Northern, they've gotten better. I mean, they got beat by Spring Grove early in the year, 30-0 or 34-0, and we thought, wow, either Northern's really bad or Spring Grove's really good, and it's the latter of the two.
Mm-hmm.
Spring Grove's good. So that's not a big deal. Gettysburg's not Spring Grove by any means. But Gettysburg's got a good quarterback. Defensively, I have no idea how you give up 535 yards. I mean, I just don't. So I look at this game, and I'm thinking Gettysburg is going to throw it a lot, and the game could get a little crazy with points. I think Northern will score on Gettysburg. I'm going to go Gettysburg in a 34 to 28 game, Gettysburg.
Next game, we got DeLone 1-2 against Biglerville 1-2.
Don't know a lot about DeLone. I saw some things over the weekend. DeLone's quarterback got hurt. They brought another kid in, a receiver, good athlete, came in and played quarterback. Sounds like he did pretty well. Coach Zortman, he felt like he did a good job. They had a running back, Redding, that ran for a bunch of yards, had a good game, 3 touchdowns. So they have some players. They're young. I guess their skill players are young, according to what the coach said. And I think DeLone is traditionally, have they ever lost to Biglerville? I
doubt it.
Not that I ever remember.
Maybe, what was it, 2 years ago? Biglerville had a pretty good
I think last year they beat Biglerville by a point.
Yeah,
I'm not positive, but
I think maybe 2 years ago they
one of these last couple years they had a really, really, really tight game. But DeLone's going to win, and 21-14.
Next game, Dover 1-2 at New Oxford 3-0.
I think New Oxford's going to get these guys together and say, listen, we're not happy with what we did on the line of scrimmage. This is just what I think. This is what I would do. And I want some people to... Now you're playing Dover, and you should beat Dover. I mean, Southwest blew them away. So anything less than that is not going to be acceptable. And I think what they're going to do is they're going to come out. And you know what? Here's the thing. You have to work on your whole game. You know, Fry's got to get reps throwing it. The receivers got to get reps catching it, and your running game's got to be there. Now, you got a week maybe to get Brown healthy. You got Lampke, you got Blake, you got some nice running backs, but you got multiple receivers. You know, the Jacoby, the Clunks, the Holmes, and those guys. They all can catch the ball. They all, you know, they all look solid, like solid players. So I'd run my normal set like I was playing Southwest again. I'd do the same kind of a game plan, and I would attack. And I would say, line of scrimmage, we're gonna kick butt on the front end on the offensive side, and on the defensive side, we're gonna explode. And I would go after them. And like I said, if that game's 35-0 or more at halftime, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get the young kids in and you tell them to do the same. But I wouldn't go out there walking around in the days and making it like this is a cakewalk and this is a breeze and you got to go to business, because I'll tell you right now, you got 4 games to play. And after those 4 games, you got your whole season standing in front of you.
Yep.
You got West York and Warwick. And if you allow something to slip up and you get in a bad mindset and you go play off of 4 games that you're probably going to win easily, and you play a West York team that comes in hungry.
Well, and that could change the standings or the seedings in the postseason.
Yes.
You know, so yeah, you have to go out, and this is all dress rehearsal for
it's big. And I know New Oxford will have these guys ready, and I know what their intentions are going to be. And are they happy they won at Southwest? Yes. But are they happy that, they wanted to get on there and be a little more impressive? And it wasn't they weren't impressive. I was very impressed with the Southwest effort. I really was. I thought Tony had them ready. Good game plan. Played within themselves. Did what they needed to do. Lost a kid late in the game that could have made a difference. Could have made a difference. Don't know if it would have, but it very well could have. And I think New Oxford's going to tighten some things up with the pass. But like I said, I like the way Fry plays, and I like the way New Oxford's offense looks. They have balance. They got to get better line play. They got to develop a better run game. So they're gonna take it to Dover, and they're gonna beat Dover. They're gonna beat Dover 49-7.
Last game on here, we got Cumberland Valley 1-2 at State College 2-1.
Cumberland Valley's physical on the line of scrimmage, and I don't understand. I don't really know what the problem is with them right now, but they lost to Altoona Friday night. Late field goal beat them 17-16, and I'll tell you right now, that's not a good sign. I mean, you're Cumberland Valley, and you know what Cumberland Valley, they've had tradition for years and years and years, and they don't accept the fact of losing to anybody. Altoona is a middle of the road team in that league, which is a very tough league, but I'm sure Josh, the head coach, is disappointed in that effort, and they're going to go up to State College. State College is coming off a loss, but Cumberland Valley's always played State College very, very tough. They've been very competitive games. I think they beat them here in the last couple of years. They beat them. They may have beat them last year, but I know they've beat them once here in the last few years. So that's going to be a very competitive game, and Cumberland Valley's coming off a loss that they don't like, and I think they'll play well, but State College has too much, and State College is going to beat them 31-14.
That's it for the high school games. Moving on to Penn State. Not really much to talk about here. They're playing Villanova. The only thing I really need to say is I think Penn State's got to start beefing up the schedule a little bit.
Well, they were to play Virginia Tech.
I heard they did back out, and this is good for the smaller schools. These smaller schools are getting paid to come in and play these teams.
Here's the thing I want to have happen. You're playing Villanova.
Well, and they're coming off of a not so impressive win.
I watched the first half of the game. I thought they'd come out, line up, and really get their run game working. I mean, right away. I I watched maybe Aller throw 7 straight passes, and I was like surprised. I mean, they're a run first team right now. I mean, they got a great offensive line. They got 2 of the best backs in the country. Aller's a great quarterback. I mean, he's a big kid. He has a good arm. He's been a little inconsistent here and there, but he's supposed to be the guy, and this is his year. So this is the year for them. And you can't just do one thing. You've got to work on everything. You got to get reps throwing it, and you got to run it. But I thought it would be a run first type deal. I didn't see that, and I was kind of surprised. But Penn State's going to hammer. I said they would beat who they just
FIU.
I thought they'd beat Florida International 49-10. It was 34-0, and it really was.
Not impressed.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't good. And here's the bad part: you're playing Villanova, which is going to be no contest. We know that, and then you got to bye, and then you're playing a team that might be as fast
Number
as any.
5? Are they number 5?
Oregon's good. Oregon's good. I know it's power against speed. They're playing at Penn State, which will be crazy. It'll be a whiteout deal or whatever they do up there. But I can tell you right now, Penn State is going to have to sharpen, and it's very difficult to sharpen things up against a team that can't even, they're not going to be able to contest what you're doing. So, but you work on it. You run. You play hard. You play to your full ability, and you try to get things rolling. But they got a bye, and then they got Oregon. I think it hurts them a little bit. We'll see what happens and how Oregon. I mean, they just beat Oklahoma State 100-0. I mean, that was crazy, 60-something-0 or something. The score I got in the third quarter, and just drilled them. So you're going to have power against speed, and they're going to have to figure it out quick because they got one of the best 5 or 6 teams in the country coming to Penn State, and they have speed. So, but Penn State, the one thing they can hang their hat on is they have a great defense.
Mm-hmm. I know we want to talk about some of the guys from the area that are playing in college. I know Bo, you follow Bo pretty well, and we got a guy from Hanover, Chase Roberts, worked with him directly here. Great kid. I'll let you kind of talk about those.
Bo
guys.
was 30 for 39 for 334, 3 touchdowns, no picks, and he did it after he got stripped, picked it up, took it to the house. So had to be a bad feeling for Bo, but boom, as tough as he is, he turns around, puts up 30 for 39 for 334 and 3 scores, and 42-31 win over Kansas, which Kansas is a solid team. So that's a good win, and it's a great effort for Bo. And then Chase Roberts from Hanover, 9-7 victory. And Chase was 21 for 30 for 290 and a touchdown, 73-yard touchdown pass. So Chase, congratulations on that. And I wish you luck up there, and hope you have a great season at Albright, and
I know we're going to
continue to grow.
Family's going to stop up. He made an impact on my 2 kids, and they really want to watch him. They want to see him play. So
he's a nice kid.
We'll probably be up to see you here soon.
I wish him the best.
Last thing I've got on the agenda is the NFL. We want to talk a little NFL. We got the Eagles at the Chiefs.
Wow. Well, the Chiefs are the Chiefs. I mean, they got the coaches, they got the quarterback, they got the great defensive coordinator, but my opinion is this. I said it at the beginning of the year. I think Philly and the Ravens, along with Buffalo, are the 3 best teams in football. I think the Ravens and Philly are the 2 best teams in football. I know Buffalo beat the Ravens last night, which I had it happening, and it didn't look like it was going to happen for a long time. But at Buffalo, Josh Allen's my favorite player in football. I mean, he's the best. He reminds me of John Elway back in the day. He's playing on a team that doesn't have all those guys, And you know, a lot of people, oh, Lamar, and Lamar's tremendous, but you know, you got Derrick Henry behind you, and you got some things going on with the defense, and they have quite a few skill guys. So I think Baltimore, talent-wise, is a little bit better, but Buffalo and Josh Allen, he's my guy. But this game's going to be a good one, and I like Barkley. I mean, Saquon's the real deal, and Jalen Hurts is really, really growing into being a great player. I mean, does it with his legs and even does it with his arms. He's got some weapons. I look for that to be a very good game. Kansas City is almost in a must-win situation. You know, I told you right off the get-go, Chargers are going to beat Kansas City in week 1. And I'll tell you right now, they're going home. You know, Philly did not look that impressive against Dallas, but Dallas actually played well. I mean, they really did. Dak can play extremely well at times, and he can be off at times. But Lamb, uncharacteristic. Uncharacteristic that he would drop balls like that, and he you know, he said he lost the game for him, and you know, Henry last night fumbling the football. That you get your best players, that's who you're going to, and sometimes they don't get it done. But I think Dallas is a better team, and I think Philly is one of the best teams, and the reason for it is the line of scrimmage on both sides. They're really strong. But Mahomes is going to come out.
As long as Carter can stay in the game.
Well, that
was crazy at the beginning of the game.
That was crazy. But I think Philadelphia is going to go there, and it's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. But I think Philly's going to beat them 27-24, and I'm sticking to it.
All right, last thing, we're going to wrap up restaurant. I know I didn't cover one last week. The restaurant that I got this week is Sherwood Inn. If you're in Spring Grove and you're headed over to Central, it's kind of on your way, depending on which way you go. If you do go and you are of legal age, stop in, say hi to Macy, the bartender. She'll hook you up. She'll get you a drink. Great bartender. Last thing, if you can and you want to, comments are open on YouTube. Comments are open on Instagram. Leave your scores. We'd like to see what they are. Got any comments? Leave your comments. We're always open to them. Last thing, this podcast is powered by Swope's Training System. Make sure you're getting your athletes